Clothing is a fundamental part of our society that has been present for quite a while now. In fact, about 62% of Americans say they own more than 10 t-shirts. But have you ever stopped to think, what processes and procedures does your clothing go through before it makes its way into your hands? Hello everybody, my name is Jared, and I'm the co-founder, CEO, and Chief of Design here at Honest Apparel. And firstly, I'd like to welcome you to our first keynote. I hope you sincerely enjoy this presentation and help support this message we're trying to send. Now, without further ado, let's jump right in. Most of your clothing will start off as cotton plants in either the US, India, or China. These three countries are the biggest producers of cotton products and have a real dominance in the business. And if we start to observe the practices of the large farms that are located in these countries, we will start to see a common trend. Most of these cotton plants are grown with the aid of many insecticides and pesticides. Ultimately, this does increase the productivity of such farms, but would you really want to wear something that, while it was being grown, was regularly coated in what is essentially a carcinogenic poison? We didn't think so. After the cotton bolls are separated from their seeds, they get processed and sent overseas in industrial-sized bales. In these processing facilities, they manipulate the puffy bales of cotton into gray fabric, similar to the ones you know and love. The only problem is that in order to achieve the ideal texture and color for further production, it must be first treated with heat and more dangerous chemicals. After the fabric, now softer and white in color, is treated, it moves on to the most dangerous stage. This is the stage where the dyes are applied to the fabric. These dyes contain substances such as lead, cadmium, chromium, and mercury, all of which are known to cause cancer and are sadly released by factories into the environment as waste. Keep in mind that finding a piece of clothing that wasn't made by using these harmful substances is getting increasingly more difficult, partly because organic cotton clothing only makes up for about 1% of all cotton production, and only about 30% of those don't even use natural dyes. This not only makes finding these products challenging, it's impossible to find them at cheap prices. At this point, the finished fabric gets transported to various Asian countries to be sewn together into clothing by underpaid sweatshop workers. It may seem as though we're blowing this out of proportion, but in reality, 4.5 million people are employed this way in Bangladesh alone. They aren't paid well either. The average wage for someone whose job is to stitch cotton t-shirts is the equivalent to $68 per month. By American standards, that isn't even enough to buy groceries for a week, let alone finance your housing situation. After this point, the finished clothing is shipped to various stores in first world countries. This makes it so that the textile industry alone accounts for 10% of the planet's overall carbon emissions. The clothing then makes its way into shopping carts and your closet to conclude its environmentally horrendous process. Here at Honest Apparel, however, we plan to change these facts drastically. All of your clothing will be made with materials like 100% organic cotton, hemp, bamboo, even verified cruelty-free wools and leathers. For our dyes, locally sourced natural dyes that are extracted from fruits, vegetables, and other plants native to the area. We plan to produce all of our clothing right here in Santa Fe and on 100% renewable energy. By purchasing an Honest Apparel product, you're showing that you won't stand for the heinous practices appearing throughout the textile industry. Every purchase also goes to making Santa Fe more resilient, and we'll get more into detail about local here in a bit. Thank you for supporting Honest Apparel and enjoy the keynote. Sincerely, the team at Honest Apparel.